Alright, viewers, welcome to this is tutorial in the fish bed. Today we are covering the KH-66 Grom. This is a kind of fictional weapon for the fish bed. This specific variant didn't carry it most of the time. I think it was the PFM that carried it, but regardless, we get it in DCS, so we may as well use it. Very simple weapon to use. It basically follows the radar beam. I think, I could be wrong, but I think in the actual coding I've heard the radar acts like a laser in that regard, so it's technically a laser, but not really. Realistically, it is radar guided, and that is how you should think of it in DCS. So you set this switch to neutral, air to ground, You want to select S24 pylons 1 and 2 because we have the inner pylons today, that's where the Groms go, and pylons 1 and 2 are the inner pylons. We'll now set the radar to on. That is a left click of the radar prep switch, and select lock beam, which is another left click. We'll set the gun setup, so we want to have launch, shoot, manual if you're using the realistic gun sight, which I am. The reason for this is because with the realistic gun sight, the pipper will not lock to the target and it will not bore sight to the radar. To bore sight to the radar, you have to set the intercept angle to about 2.5 degrees, and that should line up with where the radar's pointing. Obviously, it's not perfect, it is still a little bit off, but it's as good as you can get it, really. So that's what we'll do, is we'll place the pipper on the target, press the lock button, and shoot. These missiles don't have much control authority compared to something like a Maverick, or a Hellfire, or any other like modern NATO missile, or even a Vickers, or a KH-25 from the Russian K-50, which I've done a video on recently. So you are mainly going to have to be kind of launching quite far away because the missile doesn't have much control authority. Okay, the radar sees the target. You can see that by the radar beam kind of shortening, that means it sees the target and will lock when it gets lined up. There are actually two ways of employing this missile. The first way is to do what I'll do, is I'm going to lock the target and the radar will lock the ground and it will track, which is what I'm going to do. And lock. Okay, I'm going to fire. And rifle, and you see this, the radar is tracking the target. You see that because I broke lock, the missile can with skew, so the second method is just guiding it in with the pipper like this. And now the missile will go where the pipper is pointing currently, and that's a hit. So obviously both methods are usable. Most of the time I will use the first method that I showed, but you can use the second one if there's like a pop-up target you only see pretty close and you just want to hit it. So it's like a TRO mode, whereas locking it with the radar is more like a pre-planned target you'll find. But again, both methods work, both are viable. If you use the unrealistic gun sight, then I imagine locking the target will be much more beneficial. But to each their own. With that being today's video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Patreon, TikTok, and YouTube. Have a wonderful rest of your whole weekend. Shark31 signing off.